Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Is here. I guess is here. I guess is here. There he is smiling. What's up, Liv? What's up?
Hey.
Welcome back, part 2, the remarkable journey of Khalid Elahi. I just want to tell Mark bringing up a street soldier, Khalid Elahi. I just want to tell you, man, you got, I don't know, we got a lot of love last week, man. LinkedIn, you was just the compliments and likes, and I don't know if they listened to the show and liked it, or if they just saw you and liked it. I don't know. But man, people was blowing up, and people were sorry they missed it. Roger Stevenson texted me, Khalid, I'm sorry, man. Ryder, but I'm gonna listen tonight.
Yeah.
One of the moms of one of the kids, Alicia Dixon, she listened last week and she was so inspired, and I sent it back and she said, I love Khalid. I'm tuning in tonight. I'm watching tonight. So just thank you, man. Thank you once again for doing this. And indeed, your journey has been, continues to be remarkable. And you know, I should have said this last week. Sometimes I said the remarkable journey of a street soldier, and people know the name of the show, but there actually is a meaning of the term street soldier. And sometimes people get it confused. A couple of times I popped up, Dr. Marshall's popped up in some rap songs about they I ain't the real street soldier. They the real street soldier because they out there on the streets doing soldiering. That ain't what this means, folks. A street soldier is one who wants to eliminate violence from his own life, right, and from his community. That's what a street soldier is. We've always defined it that way. The show has always been a violence prevention show, and that's our goal. Right. Khalid, I just want to tell you, we had a training this week. Our second since we opened up. Limited people, but man, that training institute is just powerful, man. It is. Stefan came up from San Diego for the 25th time.
Yeah.
And he was there, and anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody what a street soldier is, and so let's plunge into the second half of this remarkable journey. And we left you last week when the life of a street brother, I put it like that. Brother got about in street activities, landed him in, and I every time I say this, man, your second time being arrested, I got people who get arrested 15 times. They in the county. Second time you get arrested, you end up in San Quentin. And, you made the vow that, this is it for me. 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 And we've heard people say that many times, and that hasn't happened. But for you, it ended up to be that way. So I guess for people listening for the first time, didn't hear last week's show, we should probably give them a quick demographic. Maybe I should let Mrs. Stell do that. Mrs. Stell, you want to give them a quick demo of who this gentleman is? And it can be brief. You know, he's from Richmond. You know, just why don't you just say that to give people a little bit about him, his last week's story, and then we'll move directly into the second half.
Right.
Since she's paying attention, Khalid.
Oh, I was paying attention.
We know you.
I was definitely paying attention. But you know, I'm kind of funny about telling other people's stories. And can't nobody tell their story better than they can. You know, I'm kind of funny like that.
It's a recap.
But I will say, this is a young man who has been there and done that. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
One mistake, and then had a bright idea. Well, let me just try this and see. And I'm going to be clean. I'm going to be tough with it. I'm going to look good while I'm doing it. And it's just, I should be good. But there's no right way to do wrong. And even though, you know, when you do one thing one time and you think, ain't nobody watching, I'm good, then you just do it again. And you just do it again. And then create a name for yourself so much so that you can't be touched. And there was something going on with this young man who felt like he got it, he's clean with it, he can't be touched, and then he did. And he got touched and he ended up locked up. That experience going through that process was more than eye-opening. I mean, it's like, man, that's what I am. And I shouldn't be going through this. But he went through it. And so now,
that's pretty good.
Here, yeah, did I do all right?
That's pretty good.
Kind of good, because you know, again, I got there's stuff that I don't do, but you know, Dr. Marshall loves to put me on the SPOT.
Absolutely.
Always a test, Khalid. You know, old as I am, I'm still getting tested. But what I know is he tried it, it didn't work.
Right.
Now that's what I should have said. He tried it and it didn't work.
Yes.
And now he's on this side telling the story.
Do it. That's not a test, but that's okay. I'll take it. I take whatever.
No, that's all right. No, because see, you gave it to me. So now, you know, Khalid, you know, just put it, just wrap that up just a little bit tighter before you move into the day as you get closer to being free. Were you really ready for it? Or what was that thing that we know when you got in, you were like, oh no, hell no. This ain't what I'm trying to do.
Well, before I start, I would like to say, because I do have manners and respect, good evening, everyone, for everybody there. For everybody there, for whoever tuned in. You brought something that hit me in my mind. And this is for young people, parents, that they can have something, because some people don't know what to tell their kids. And I'm gonna tell them like this: when you make that choice, you become, it's two type of animals outside when you step into them streets. It's the lion and it's the gazelle.
Mm.
And when you step into that arena out there, I don't care what you think you are. The police is the lion, the judicial system is the lion, and you are the gazelle. And their job on a day-to-day basis is to hunt you down. And brothers, you know, that's why school is important, because it's an education. People be saying, oh man, education ain't for me. Well, hey, in fact, you getting the education every day, wrong or right. You becoming educated. And people don't understand. They come sit on the corners for more than 8 hours. And the police, they do shifts on you. He do 8 hours, pass your notes pass this notes to the next brother. The next police officer that do another 8 hours on you. Your mind and got tired, you weary because you're standing out there more than 8 hours. You're not fresh. Your thought process is not fresh. You're making irrational decisions. And they didn't put 2-3 men on one guy all day long. And it's just those type of things that's gonna guarantee you go down because it's all set up against you. And then I had a good friend. My closest friend. His name was Dorian Jefferson. Dorian Jefferson was one of Richmond's strongest brothers. There's not going to be nothing stronger than him. And when they killed him, I should have known then, I'm nothing. I'm going to be next because when the strong start getting killed too, the strong, now I'm talking about he was the strongest of the strong. I didn't see it like that. I figured we're going to make it right for him and keep on. I'm going to keep pushing and living for him. While he was strong. All the brothers that I named in that video that we saw the other day, them wasn't weak brothers. Them was strong brothers. And it just didn't hit me. And these brothers, just don't get it. Don't get it that it's a trap set up for you. Now what the trend is going on with now is that they're going in doing double digits and coming out right now doing the same exact thing. So for me, I didn't just go through that process and figure, well, I'm not going to do crime no more. I didn't know that I was going to get this far. I just figured, hey, I'm not going to be running around with guns. I'm tough enough to say no to people. I'm not going to get bullied. Nobody never going to be asking me. I'm just going to change up a different way, get a job and try to get lost. But I wasn't even thinking about trying to help somebody change their life. I wasn't thinking about trying to, I just was selfish thinking, saying I'm just gonna be cool myself. I still had an infected mind, and we'll get down through the street. Through the interview about that. But I still had an infected mind. I just said I'm not gonna get arrested no more. I'm not gonna put myself out there and be a lion. Be a gazelle any longer.
Right.
I'm not gonna be that. So
let's go back to the incarceration piece before. Obviously, you got to get out before you can, even.
Right.
Right now, you in the, as Jack likes to call it, the slave quarters. That's what Jack calls it.
Hey,
Jack calls it the slave quarters.
He's right. Right.
Yeah, and that's a perfect analogy. And you talk just riveting in such a riveting fashion about your first day there and the dehumanizing experience of being stripped and all of that. And you compared it to the scene in Roots or in the slave movies where you're up in there and you're checking out all your body parts and cavity and how dehumanizing that was for you. But then you go into the joint and you're there for, how long were you there for 3 years? How long were you actually there?
3 years.
So what was that experience itself like? I've talked to a lot of brothers, who've been in, and I've seen movies and so on and so forth. Some of them movies are a little different, but that experience for you, they every day, just being there, with seemingly, and I've been to Quentin, and it looks like you go to Quentin, and it's like there's so many brothers in there, it's like being out on the street, except it's in prison. But what was that experience like for you from that second day till just going through that?
Well, and ironically, the brother who, when I was my first night at San Quentin, my cellie just died.
Oh,
like this week. He died from complications of his body, kidney failure, diabetes, and all of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But they put him in my cell. He had tuberculosis. And so the first thing I had to do is start monitoring him, telling him I got to cough outside the cell. I'm not going to catch TV. He had something growing on his arm. We both got the shot. My arm was squeaky clean. His looked like a little puppy we grew on his arm. And I said, oh, man, you got tuberculosis. And he was like, no, I don't. I said, nah, brother, you got something on your hand that's growing, that's living. You got to cough out the thing. So in my mind, when he go to sleep, man, it was enough to make me just want to holler, man, because I said, oh my God, now I'm a kid. They trying to kill me in here. I said, God just really put it on me, like step by step. I had a little daughter, my middle child, she was 30 days old. So now, and the lady that I had a child by, she wasn't too rap tight. You know, she was easily persuaded. She from the streets. I'm saying, oh man, my little daughter don't got a chance. It just was so much. So that had me. And then I'm seeing brothers having a good time. I mean, I didn't see no sadness. I seen, hey, they yelling my name out. I don't know where they're coming from. They having a good time, and I'm ready to just drop to my knees and scream. But I'm tough on Khalid, so you know I'm just going through the motions. And then I told myself what I'm gonna do, and this is exactly in the name of God. I said, man, I'm gonna act like I'm on a safari, and I'm just gonna be interviewing these dudes. Like, you know, I'm gonna be up here for some years. I'm gonna start interviewing them and see how they think. And you know, that's how I made it. And I
Wow.
really did. I started interviewing these dudes, like, and it was interesting because it was like I was doing some interviewing, like literally, like interviewing them, like, tell me, and it was like, and it got me through. And that's how I played the game in my mind. And I just was listening
Do
to
you
them.
remember some of the things you asked them, or when you say
Yeah,
interview?
yes. I was in with Rick James. Rick James became that was like my big brother. First thing I asked him, man, why you burn that lady with that fork? You know, I asked him straight out, man, what was you thinking? You know, literally asked him that. Like, what was you thinking?
Which Rick James?
The only Rick James.
Not that Rick James.
The only Rick James. I mean, they break you down to where you human. You can talk to each other now. You're not this big old millionaire. I don't care who you are. You're going to have karate shoes on. You're going to have the orange. They break you all the way down. And that brother was like, but I was asking him, you know, like, when did it start for you? Like street soldier stuff, like what we doing now. And I just was like asking him questions. How long you been in? 40 years, brother. I came in 59 when I'm like, what? You know, and some brothers was in for different crimes and different decades. It changed. You could see. And then they was like, brother, every brother I knew, you don't belong here. You should be here. You don't belong here. I'm like, man, I knew I didn't belong.
Right.
I knew I didn't belong because these dudes was every one of them started off in juvenile hall. I never went to juvenile hall. You know, all of them was career criminal. They knew they was going, they said when they was in school. You know, and I just was like, and you can't be saying I'm better than you. We all in here together. But I was seeing brothers that was my father age calling himself C murder, homicide. Brothers got the top missing the top of their head, but they got braids on the side. I'm like, oh my God. I just couldn't, it just was, it was the worst. It was that type of stuff. And I just was like, I just can't be, it's enough to make you, like that song said, make you want to holler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was just like, wow, I'm not used to nothing like this. And the brother be my father age, want me to call him homicide. I'm like, brother, your name is Mr. Williams. I can't call him
What you call it? Homicide?
Yeah, homicide and there's all type of crazy names. I said, I can't call you that, brother. Your name is Mr. Williams. I can't even fathom calling you that. And them brothers was that gone. You know, they was somebody's grandfather. Want to be called that. And I was like, and I just said, yeah, sooner or later I'm gonna get out of here. And then I just was preparing to get out of there and listening to these other brothers' story. And I just knew I wasn't coming back because it was just too many mental tragedies I was going through. Seeing brothers, seeing the and then this is what made me say I'm never selling crack no more. And because they move you to different prisons, San Quentin is just a holding area for you
Right.
till you go to where you're gonna get to. When I was in San Quentin, a white guy, he smoked a cigarette. It just, in the way he smoked it, it was just like he smoked it halfway and just threw it on the ground. and a brother came and picked it up and smoked. I said, brother, don't smoke that. And he smoked it anyway. I mean, this stuff was on the ground. And I said, and you could tell he had been using drugs. I said, I'm never selling that shit again, ever. I'm done. And I was done with it because I seen the damage that I was doing. I never did see the damage. And then when you go from selling rocks to pushing weight, when you start selling weight, you very rarely see a drug user. You're selling to normal people now. So you're not even in the real damage. And I seen the damage. I said, oh man, I just knew that I'm gonna have to find another way. I knew I was man enough to work a job. I knew I was man enough because I was getting up at 6 a.m, being in Richmond by 7 o'clock in the morning, out there pushing, and like a job. So I knew I could hold a job. I just got to change up what I could do. You know what I mean? So I said, I don't have no problem working. I could sell, if I could sell a powder receptionist, I could sell bottle tops, rubber bands, t-shirt. I could do something, so.
Did you get a job in while you were there? I mean,
I did have a job. I did have a job, and I didn't even, because I had a little money when I went in, so I didn't really. They made you get a job, and I worked for a lieutenant. I was a mopper. That's how I met Rick James, because yeah.
When I got home last night.
Hey, that was all over with. I'm gonna tell you, I ended up giving him a pair of tennis shoes because he was in some Chinese shoes. And I'm talking about them things, you walking on concrete, and the brother didn't have nothing. And he was broke down, humbled all the way down. And I was mopping, and they were saying, Rick James in here. I'm like, I looked at all the brothers, I'm like, because I'm thinking of, the little hair and all of that stuff. I said, where is he? He said, I'm Rick James. I said, man, come on. Where is Rick James at, man? The brother was totally, and I looked at him, I said, oh my God, you is Rick James. I could see it. And I said, he had a regular little haircut, and he just was regular. And it just was like, that made me feel sad too, because that's one of our icons, like, we don't believe everything you do, but we love your music. That's Rick James. And I said, and they broke him down. And that's another, it was sad to see. But I watched him go from couldn't sing to, I'm hanging with him every day. Well, he hanging with me. I gave him some tennis shoes, and he hadn't had no money yet then. So he was regular. I'm laughing, and I'm a funny dude. I'm cracking jokes, but we having fun. But I just couldn't believe it. I'd be like, hey, James, man, look at you. And it just was sad. It was just really sad. And, but, it just go to show you how jail do. When you get it,
no big eyes,
who you are.
No mercy, none.
Absolutely none. It'll turn Jesus Christ. You'll be like, oh my God, look what they're doing to Jesus. It'll turn whoever. And it's not for human beings.
Khalid, so much of what I hear of brothers who do go in the joint is, navigating through all the madness, right? There are prison rules, right? And you never know where the guards stand, because I've heard stories about the guards that they should be behind bars,
Right.
I mean, I've heard some horrible stories.
Right.
Cell phone scams and everything, from the joint, but the challenge is to, navigate through all that and keep your sanity.
Right.
Not getting pulled into, this side or that side, the other, and did you meet a few guys in there? And I've been there. I've met Lonnie Morris. I met guys that are doing a lot of good stuff inside the joint. I guess you run through you meet all kinds. Did you stay to yourself, or
just didn't. I was a strong guy. And my I didn't belong to no gangs or no. I was a group myself, the Khalid group, and I was a Khalid group, and all the brothers loved me, every last one of them. If you were somebody, you loved me. I respected you. You respected me. I had no problems in there. It was just regular to me.
That's great to hear.
That was I was locked up, but I did take to my health. I was kind of a little heavy when I went in, but I ended up getting to be like 175, getting to be back to my ideal weight. I was running laps. I was running 3 miles a day, but on Saturdays and Sundays, I would do 30 laps. And I knew this elderly Latino guy, he was doing 50 laps. And he'll be done 30 by the time I got out there, and then he'll do the 20 laps with me.
Right.
And then my last 20, and that's how stuff like that, little victories, I became close with the Mexicans. It was different for me. It was like a storybook. God opened up the gates for something different for me. And that's why I believe in God, because you have a personal thing that God gonna take just you through. And for me, prison wasn't like that. It was just a blessing. I met a lot of good people, and every walk of whites, blacks, they loved me. They respected me. I respected them.
Yeah,
I could give everything I want. I didn't have no problems, no nothing. I was just locked up, and nobody thought they knew I didn't deserve it. They knew when I get out, I'm gone. I used to sit and watch birds some days fly, and I used to be like, God, if you just let me be a bird right now, I wouldn't even want to be. just let me be a bird. I'll take being a bird right now.
That's beautiful.
It broke me down. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll stay in the air. I'll stay safe. Just let me be a bird. And that's the stuff I was doing. I was drawing on, like when I was inside of a cell living, I was drawing on my walls. I drew water, horses, because I could draw. I drew outside on my walls. I just always just thought about how it's going to be, and I never let that go, you know, and for me.
One of the things you did while you were there is that you heard this radio show, and you heard this guy on the radio, and you was like, what is he talking about?
More magic.
Introduction of Khalid Elahi, the Street Soldiers, and Dr. Marshall, and our message. And I when I first heard you telling me this, I was like, just talk about, you know.
Yeah. See,
listen to the
show. They don't know you still fiery, but you was fiery back then. I mean, fiery. And I was like, I would love to. And I used to get kind of, I used to listen to you. You know, by that time I make sure I got everything all ready to shower. I got my earphones on and I'm listening. And you came on 92.3 The Beat. And I'm listening. I said, Street Soldiers. And I'm listening to this stuff. And you were saying all type of stuff. I said, oh man, this dude gonna get somebody killed. I wouldn't listen to nothing he say, period. I said, hey man, listen, I got people listening to this. I said, man, you gotta listen to this. And I'm listening to you, and I was like, man, I wish I could call in. I wish I could say one word to this dude. I wanted to call in so bad. But what happened is, this dude, Norm Johnson, was a good friend of mine, and his nephew was the guy that played Ice Cube when he was little in Boys in the Hood. And he was on there. You was talking to him, and the movie had just came out, and he was talking about he had war, he was a blood. Remember he was saying his brother was in war, and he gonna kill somebody, and you was trying to talk him into not killing somebody. And I'm like, Norm, your dumb nephew is on there talking about killing somebody. He didn't just made a movie. He said, what? I said, you said that's, I said, listen, man, I had Norm get his nephew on the phone the next day after you talked to him. And I was like, man, don't listen to nothing dude said. But let me tell you what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Dude gonna get you killed. Let me tell you what you got to do. But it was some stuff that that was the first person that I was really, well, in my neighborhood, I was telling people to do this, do that, although I did this and did that. But he was another guy that I was trying to steer clearly away, because you're gonna end up dead. I said, man, you ain't gonna be as smart, because I told him, He was the first one I told, jail is for lucky people. People like you get killed, little man. So you might as well just go ahead and change your life. You're an actor and you're gonna be great. I was trying to do him like that, but I still had a problem with you. I was like, man, dude. I said, man, I didn't like nothing you were saying. And I said, and I just didn't like it. But I listened to you every week. And I just was like, man, I'm not a fan of his at all, period.
Well, you weren't the only one, because everything I was saying
was right.
Opposite of what most people were doing. And I was serious. I wasn't serious about, we were serious about what we were saying as they were about what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a tug of war. I mean, it was no doubt, and they was
calling in challenging you. They was calling in. You didn't have no people calling in you saying, like, when you got this nowadays, you got a lot of, that's right, you talk, that's right. Now you had a lot of, no, what you talking about? You're gonna get somebody killed and blah, blah, blah. And you going head to head with them. I was like, oh, I wish I could go. Oh, I want to be You probably wouldn't be talking.
Yeah. And that, and that was the beauty of the show. It was definitely the opposite of what everybody was saying. Justifying. And it still is. It still is. It continues to be that way. And people don't really understand, people who live now don't really understand how fixed the whole drug thing was. I mean, that crack cocaine thing was incredible. And people were convinced that, that this is what they had to do. And like you said, they didn't, we just knew that one, it wasn't gonna work. Number two, the effects, it was devastating to the community. But I also understood that mentality. I knew that mentality, and you had to meet it with, like, no, you couldn't. One thing I always knew, even now, you can't negotiate with it. You negotiate it, then you give it life. And the fact that brothers in jail were listening to it was just remarkable, because it didn't work, man. It didn't work, and now I am getting that it ain't working. It didn't work, and so that's great that was the first encounter that you had with Dr. Marshall and this whole Street Soldier Radio show. As you move forward, and I think you were saying, I'm gonna meet him one day. I'm gonna meet him one day. I'll meet him one day. I'll meet him one day. As it got close to you getting out, what was it like as the days wound down to, like, man, your parole, you're getting out? What was that?
You know how some people say, man, it's gonna be tough to live and all of this. I might not be able to adjust. Some people was like, I was watching brothers literally have a problem with getting out, because some brothers, and this is no lie, couldn't call home.
Right.
The mother wasn't accepting the collect calls.
Right.
They was tired of their stuff, and it was tough for them. So when they was like, what are they getting out to? In there, you meeting extraordinary individuals, and for some people, they was doing so bad out there.
Right.
It wasn't so bad inside for them. But for me, it was crazy. On when I was leaving, I felt sad about leaving them brothers in there.
Right.
It was so weird.
Right.
Like, I almost wanted to cry. Right. Like, I'm gonna leave this brother, because I developed some camaraderie with some of these brothers. But it was this lady named Miss Dooley. I'll never forget, because I had in my situation, I had to see a panel before I got out.
Mm-hmm.
The district attorney in Martinez, in my county, man, he was so no good with me. He wanted to really get me. And I used to go to, like I said, my good friend Dorian Jefferson's trial, and it was this DA, Mr. Grossman, that he really hated my guts.
Right.
And it just, for being connected with him, really made it real worse on myself. So when I was in that position, they made it tough for me to get out. So this lady, Miss Dooley, at the prison board, she would tell people when they come to see her, You got to do another extra year. You need to take some more courses. You need
Wow.
to do. So I took all the courses. I did everything that you could do, but she still was doing people. So I said, damn, I paid the prisoners run the joint. I paid her secretary to get me on another panel where I wouldn't see her.
Oh, that's
Tell
right.
you how God always was in my business. So I was on panel B, she was doing panel A. So I'm sitting in there all day on board day. And, you know, I got my stuff, the cleaners, and I was looking like this is how I look on the streets. I was cutting my own hair, so I had a good cut. Some of them other brothers real big and got their thing buttoned all up to the top. The lady knew they don't have a shirt like that when they on the street. They know, you know, I was looking like how I look. You know, I was looking great, and so I'm ready. So after lunchtime, it was 60 people went to the board. They let 58 go. I mean, they made only two win. I was one of the two. Let me tell you how it happened. So they said, panel B is now going to be panel A. I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is my luck. This is me. So I go in there. Who do I see? Miss Dooley. They got me on this side and all these other people on that side. And they was talking to me and they want you to be remorseful. They went back to when I had a stolen bike or something, man, way back when I was a kid. They had everything. If you say, no, I didn't do it, that wasn't me, you're not ready. You're not admitting to it. Nah, you're not ready. I said, yeah, I was a punk kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I was saying all the little stuff. Then she said, why should we let you go home? This is how I got them too. I said, well, I don't think you should let me go home. I said, because here I'm hiding from my parents and I'm embarrassing them. And when I go home, that's when it's really going to start. I'm going to have to sit in front of my parents, the entire family. I got to explain myself. So I'm not ready to do that. Man, they rushed me home. They rushed me. They really rushed me home. And she made me get in the mirror and look at myself and told me I'm a handsome guy and why are you doing this? But they let me go. They let me go. You know, they knew he wasn't one. I told them, no, I don't think you should let me go. I said, oh, I hope this don't backfire. But they let me go. They let me go.
You smart.
And
You are smart.
and I got home and I said, now I got to start doing, what I said I was going to do. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew hanging out in Richmond for more than 8 hours, doing absolutely nothing but turning corners and being a part of the problem, that wasn't going to be no more. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out some kind of way.
Your life after that has been, and I know this, please people don't think I'm going overboard here, but in a way, you're your own Malcolm X. You come out, you got your mindset has changed. You understand that ain't working, wasn't gonna work, and it's not good for the people. And I think, did you purposely set out to did you to come up with a youth, or you've done so much since that time, to help others, particularly to help young people. And over the years, there's been, you've come up with different things and you can talk about the things that you've come, that you've come up with, but they've just been remarkable. I mean, there's several things that are in my head that I really wanted to highlight, but you could highlight a number of those things. How did you begin to find your way? And you can remember some of the early things that you tried?
I came to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine gave me some thousands, and a good friend of mine, and I was like, damn, it didn't feel like regular thousands. It didn't feel like, I was like, damn, I can't, man, I didn't know what to do. So I just was sitting on the money, and I played basketball in my neighborhood every day. And like I said, I was a good, strong pillar in my neighborhood where I was loved by, I'm talking about the elderly and all the parents, all loved me. And I was playing basketball. And the little kids, you know, I used to employ them. They give them $2 a day. I had like 4 or 5 that I adopted, and I give money to every day. Give them, you know, go get me ice for my knees. They was my little caretakers. And one day I asked them, I said, "Hey kids, who all what you eat today?" And because I felt like getting a pizza or something, and I was just asking, and I had some chips, I had some cookies. And it was like 5 o'clock in the evening. I said, all day? So me and Waleed developed a breakfast program where we start cooking cream of wheat, didn't cost nothing. Oatmeal in the mornings, changed it up before they went to school. Oatmeal with raisins in them, some toast, some eggs, some days, stuff that didn't cost nothing. So when we did that, it felt good. Like, wow. Then we did like 6 brothers in my neighborhood. We did a barbecue where we fed everybody in the neighborhood.
Wow.
I'm talking about every household could eat. We bought thousands of dollars worth of meat. We had the people that was on drugs. They didn't do drugs this night. They cooked the meat all night. We employed everybody in the neighborhood to do that. And then we cleaned it up, cleaned the dope track up, took the graffiti off the walls, and it just started feeling good. We had a problem with North Richmond. So my good friend, like I told you, Dorian Jefferson, set it up where North Richmond, good brothers, I had good friends. I did time with a lot of them, and we developed a real relationship. So we invited them over to our community, had basketball tournaments, and we started a midnight basketball league in Richmond. And for some of the tougher brothers, we created jobs where we got a security. We raised we hooked up with Opportunity West. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, we hooked up with them, and we got a $25,000 scholarship. Funds.
Wow.
We started doing some just on the street level, and then we did a fish fry where we fed every kid, every household we bought thousands of dollars worth of fish. So we started doing that, and then we was like, wow, we powerful. We're not like everybody else. Let's just take this to the next level. Then I went and seen my coach, who I played for the Steelers for.
Coach Fred.
I went to a game on accident, and they was just getting destroyed. And I was like, wow, we never was like, we was champions. And I seen the kids throwing the equipment off and and I looked at Coach Fred, he didn't see me. He was still trying to coach and do it right. And I said, I'm coaching next year. We called him Way, we coaching next year. That's it, and that's on. Me, Waleed, and Derek Jefferson. We went out there and turned that program into a winning situation. Wasn't too many it was a couple other brothers that I knew, that I grew up with that was coaching, but we made it popular. We brought our face, we brought our energy, we turned that thing into a national situation where everybody wanted to be a part of the Richmond Steelers. From that, it's the reason why they had that type of gusto today. Because it wasn't never, we only lost 4 games in 6 years. We was just going out of state, destroying everybody. We made being an advocate for youth great. And then when you just start, like I say, African Americans are some great people, because you come up with any idea that you come up with is gonna be great if you go for it. If it's not killing somebody or hurting somebody, any idea, this is for anybody listening, that you come up with, that's the idea, that's the plan. It's a good one. You just got to work towards it. Just like you came up with, I'm going to do this. I'm going to help people stay alive and free. You work towards it. Everything works just like that. And everything we came up with, we did that. So then we said, you know what? Let's rent the auditorium. Nobody rent the auditorium. Nobody.
Rent the auditorium, that's right.
So we went to the community, because the reason why, what happened, one of our kids got killed. That's what started it off.
Yeah.
Not Tim Kelly, It was a guy named Robert Freeman.
Yeah.
And his little casket was a 14-year-old size. It wasn't an adult size. Man, that crushed my heart to see the little man, I mean, a hell of an athlete laying in a casket. Our guy, who's somebody who we not gonna see him on the field Saturday.
Right.
We said, man, nah, we ain't gonna accept this. Now we gotta keep the babies alive. We didn't know alive and free, but we was serious about we gotta keep them alive now. Because they listening to us. Somebody just gotta tell them. We could have sent them up or down. So why not send them up? So that's what we started doing. And we went to the churches. We said, man, it's a lot of hell inside these churches. Because the people, kids and grandkids, was killers on the streets. But they sitting in church. Hallelujah. And again, Lord. Yes, Lord. All of that, but they kids killers. So what we did was went to every church. We said, hey, look, we're going to give a gospel explosion. And what we want to do is shed the light on, and people looking at us because they pulled us in front of the whole congregation for us to talk, thinking we're going to shy down. Now we go in there with them smiles and talking to them. And they was like, we come straight out. Look, Joe Marshall style, 1992. Look, we want to alert you that several of you guys in here have kids that's killers outside this church. Huh? Yes, you have killers. And we would like to bring you guys together and formulate a plan on what we can do to stop your kids from killing other kids. They could not believe it. Then, second of all, you guys don't like this church. That church don't like you. That's what a problem is. We need to stop that. So we need your choir to hook up with this other choir that you don't like. We're going to get you guys to like it because I got good friends in this choir. We did something that, and it's still never, ever. Yeah. It was almost like what we do with the consortium. Yeah. we just didn't take it to the max, but we got to start. And man, we got them all together. And we got a music store called Jones and Harris. And to show you how a lot of people in the cities, the adults is poisonous. Because we said, hey, Mr. Harris, we're doing this thing. We gave him 100 tickets. He said, so what you trying to do? I said, we're trying to rent the auditorium. Oh, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. He said, brother, it's gonna work. It's to help the kids and da-da-da-da-da-da. Left him 100 tickets. You know how many? The churches were selling out every day. We came after 30 days to pick up, the money from Mr. Harris after we've been buying his records all our life. You know how many tickets he sold? 0. I said, because he used to rent the auditorium and not one, he was sad, brother. He was sad.
That's when you find out who's serious or not.
Yeah, that's who don't want progress in the, in the city. And we learned the hard way. But brother, when we got them people to come together, it was, and you was the MC. That's how I formally met you. I said,
we sent me an invitation and said,
No. We came, I said, man, I need to know, how can I get in contact with him? Who know him? And I said, wait a minute. My guy, brother, I think he sent him to college. Called Jaleel up. I said, Jaleel, what's up with this guy, man? I heard him on the
Jaleel, yep.
You know how to get in contact with him? Yeah. I said, man, don't be playing with me, man. Do you know how to, he said, we could go straight to his office. I said, take me right now. And we came straight.
I remember
right to the office. That's when that day, I developed love for you because you was more realer than anybody I ever known in my life. And I felt something. I felt it was going to be this, what we got right now from that day. Because here we come in your office. We just walk, you keep your door open, so we just walk right on in. And I just said, I start talking immediately. Hey, brother, how you doing? My name is Khalid Elahi. I'm from Richmond. This is what I'm trying to do. And I just was shooting it. And I said, we would like you to be the MC. And I don't know what happened, but you said yes. Man, I was like, let me start listening to him then. I started listening and I kind of liked it a little bit. I kind of liked it. But you said, well, I need you to do, no, you invited us to the club.
Yeah.
You said, come to the club. And when we came to that club, I was sold. Because it was something I never saw. And I'm not prejudiced, but I never saw out of African Americans in my life. They was little girls, little boys, was from the inner city gutters. And they was in there, A students. And they was focused. Their little minds, you knew they was going somewhere. I said, oh my God. Everything in there was on point. And I said, oh yeah. I said, this is big. Then we came and we went to an institution and got me in there discussing my life. And I don't tell nobody and I told my life. And you asked one day, you gave us so much information. You said, well, how did you get infected with the hood virus, with the disease of violence? And it hurt me to say my parents, because they moved us into this neighborhood. And that hurted me to find that out. And it just, from that day on.
Well, let me just first of all compliment you on the big thing. I mean, that gospel explosion was a big thing. You had plenty of doubters, plenty of naysayers. Oh, it ain't gonna work. This is gonna happen. That gonna happen. And it was an amazing event. It really was. I remember being in there, and it was just, it was tremendous. And the people worried about people leaving. People walked home after that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, especially with that. All those with the churches involved, young people. It was just. I got a compliment to this day. I want to compliment you on daring to do it, saying we're going to do it, bringing everybody together, bringing the community together. It was an amazing thing. It was an amazing thing, and then that led to, you continuing to come up with other things. Once we met now and we got this relationship, and you keep coming up with these ideas, and I want to go to one that the second one is a couple, but there's two I actually want to mention. One was the one with Mac Dre. I was never, because for, we had a previous relationship with Mac Dre, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was locked up in jail.
Right.
He was there. We were on, the show somehow got in there. What was it? Was it Jamal D? I think there was, anyway, one of the guys, we were talking about Mac Dre, and eventually almost got in trouble with the U.S. Attorney's Office because they thought that we were obstructing justice. Oh, wow. But of course, Mac Dre was a huge Bay Area rapper, right? Mm. And you booked him that night to come, and all these kids, and I was another bold thing that I thought was just amazing. And just to be part of that, and this was Mac Dre's way of giving back for you, but he did that for you. See, that was the thing. He did it for you, and that was just, that's another one that was just incredible, man. Just your ideas were big. Yeah.
Waleed he loved Waleed so much. But what we did, let me tell you how powerful that was. At that time, Richmond was, killing. Everybody was killing each other.
Right.
We started in North Richmond. We went to the strongest brother that we knew and asked him, because in our neighborhood, we could bring our neighborhood and guarantee wouldn't be no shots fired.
Right.
But these other neighborhoods, we needed to know, we was trying to train brothers to be leaders in your community. If you're going to be out here, why not be a leader? Why not have the power to say there won't be a shot fired? Not because you threatened them, not because they see the power in peace. Why not be like that? So we talked to the strongest brother, and he was like, yeah, I'll bring these brothers. I'll put my name on the line, and I'll be responsible. and guaranteed no shots. Okay, let me go to his enemies. They guaranteed no shots. I mean, this was daredevil level type stuff.
It
Never,
was.
ever been done. We went
Right.
to it was 18 communities that was into it with each other. We went to every last one of them. Walked in there, just me and my brother. Man, they said it's gonna be a murder at this place.
Right.
But I told them, I gotta admit, look, if y'all just gonna start shooting, please kill me and my brother first.
Mm.
Because we're not gonna even, it's like we invite you, it's gonna be the auditorium, but it's like my mother living room.
Right.
That's how serious this is.
Right.
They knew it was serious. Man, Doc, you seen, remember we started off, these are violent brothers from Richmond. We started off with a prayer, and you could hear mice having a conversation in that deal. They prayed before we did it. And that's what let me know anything can happen good in Richmond. We just need some people bold enough that could use the best part of themselves to make this thing happen. We just was really willing to go that route without no fear. That comes from no fear. And man, that was one of the best things. Mac Dre came, we told him, look, we don't want you here singing your little hit songs.
Right.
Remember, he came and talked to them about how he went to jail, what got him to jail.
He looked at me and said, "Oh, you Dr. Mark, you the one I talked to down in." Everybody, they all knew who I was from the show. Right. It was great. It was great.
Right. Yeah. And you MC'd that again, and
MC'd that.
And that Street Soldiers was like, when we put that on the flyer, they was like, "What? Y'all going Street Soldiers?" Yes, yes. I mean, then we did the TK.
Yeah.
TK.
That's you've just been involved in so many things, and then there was a big, I guess, a funeral service that you had. I'm trying to think who it was for.
That was Terrence.
That was this was another one. That was at the church.
Waleed's funeral.
It was okay. So let me on. Those are the tough things. It's hard for me to talk about. Waleed's funeral, TK's funeral, but Ann, I want you to hear about this, and Lady E, I want to talk about along the way our relationship. Got to be so. I mean, when I find somebody who was serious about being a street soldier, then in fact, we rolling. And I before we even talk about Waleed, which was a true test for you, and even TK, let's go back to 2006 when I said we're gonna put on our first National Violence Prevention Conference in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Khalid, come and talk about that for you, because I can still see your face with us down there in Birmingham with the consortium, where Dr. King marched. And I mean, if there was a place ever to start the Alive and Free movement, launch the Alive and Free movement, it was at Birmingham, Alabama. But I remember you and the workshop, and we've done this ever since. But that first one, what was that like?
I'm gonna be honest with you. That was some magic. That was magic. That was something that don't happen. It was just magic. I believed in it 100%, and I was learning to. That's when I told myself, "This is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do nothing else." And before I go into that, I would like to say this too. I drive trucks right now. But if I had opportunity to show you how serious I am, to do that on a day-to-day basis again, how we go into the classrooms and do all of that, because we haven't talked about that. All right. I will put trucking away, because that's just something I gotta do. But doing what we do, what you taught me how to do, with them kids, like the meeting the Rashads, remember that, and getting into that was something that man, this is like a dream job because I always wanted to be a Martin Luther King or Malcolm. I always wanted to talk with people like that. So here I am in Birmingham, actually doing what I always wanted to do my whole life. And I gotta admit now that it was I was on my own because I said, I'm gonna just do it my way as far as in my story, because you set it up so good where we was talking about, I think I did the overcoming the infection or talking to.
It might have been these, it might have been, I don't know if you were in there with Lady Estelle doing the anger, fear, and pain.
No, me and you.
Commandments.
You did rules for living.
Rules for living, something like that.
Doing the rules for living, right?
And
yeah,
it was so beautiful that I just had a good time, and I didn't know if the people liked what was going on, but they seemed like they did. So it was just so beautiful to see everybody take to that.
Yep.
But how I knew how effective it was personally is that we went to the 16th Street Baptist Church the next day or that night, because they had Bill Cosby speaking. So I went, and that was the church where the 4 little girls, they bombed the church, and I'm in there like, oh my God, I'm in the 16th Street Baptist Church. So after the service was over, I walk outside and I walk across the street from the church. And this is absolutely no lie. It was about 8 ladies. They was kind of like grannies or something. They said, there he is right there. And I swore I thought they was talking about Bill Cosby, because he was getting in his car and I was like across the street. So it was in my direction. And I just was thinking, oh yeah, they talking about old Bill. They said, there he is. And they start coming, they passed Bill up. I'm like, I know they're not coming to me. They came over there, and I'm talking about literally, they said, oh my God, look, my daughter's the principal of blah, blah, blah. My son is the chief of police. And you're gonna have to stay. And I'm talking about, I could have stayed in Alabama, literally. I didn't want to leave. I mean, I never felt that much love. And they were saying it was so violent out there. I was like, once again, I didn't experience what the people were saying. I experienced something special. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And to see them people take it, it was just something that, God, I'm glad I was a part of it, because it's something that it's Black history. Like Black history, the real Black history. Like, everybody should know about this.
Right.
Khalid, everywhere you went, people wanted to keep you. Nobody wanted to let you go. It didn't matter where you went. Everybody wanted you to stay.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was surreal. It was just great to be there.
Kelly, Dr. Lowry, was he there?
And Reverend Joseph Lowry was our speaker.
Man,
I mean,
beautiful.
It was incredible. It was beautiful, and for all of us. But I mean, the fact that you were there and you got to do your thing, and as part of a team, we were all together. And the effect each of us has on people, it was incredible. Which is why we have him now. Yeah, it
was. I was just couldn't believe, and you guys just like stars to me. All you guys, it's like I was with them. It's like, wow, this is good. I mean, it was just, it's unexplainable. It was just beautiful, and I appreciate the opportunity to even be able to do that.
It was easy because you Khalid. I mean, it was easy. It was like, come on, Khalid, we just have to figure out a way to get there. But when we get there, we're a team. We're a team. And we've been to Sacramento. We've done it. We've done it. And we will continue to do it because, the consortium comes together to save people's lives. And you're a lifesaver, period. That's what you do. You do.
Yes.
And I'm going to come later to a wonderful, Lady, lead me through and help me with, I always say into every life, there's a real test. And you had a test. Now, I don't know if I want to call it a test, but a painful reminder of the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, he's your brother, but it's hard for me to talk about, right? Because like you, I had become close to your brother, both of us. Um, uh, you know, at our annual barbecues here, we play our basketball game and playing a lot. I think Waleed thought basketball was football.
Yeah, he did. You and him used to be on for.
I think the NBA has a lot outlawed Waleed, the type of defense Waleed played.
Dennis Rodman. He got Dennis Rodman tactics. Yeah.
You know, but we loved him, and I know Lady E loved him, and I remember getting that call because you had a football game to coach. I think the next day, is that
Mm-hmm. You're right.
when you called and said that you used to call him your puppy, right?
Yeah.
He's like your baby pup had been gunned down, and
Before that,
yeah, go ahead,
it was
lady.
on a Sunday night, and you and Waleed came to the radio show.
Yeah.
You were there in the studio.
Yeah.
You sat over there next to Dr. Marshall. It was the old one. You were on Dr. Marshall's right, and Waleed was on my left. You and Waleed, you guys, first of all, the love between you was
incredible, amazing,
unbelievable. I mean, it was just thick. And you guys were so silly. And Waleed was just, I mean, you know, he just had me cracking up. He was just, you know, he was just right there, right on my side.
Yeah.
And we just had, it was just a great radio show that night. It was just a lot of love, a lot of laughter, a lot of fun, a lot of honesty, just authenticity. And I don't know, it was just a powerful, wonderful show. And then that's how we started off the week. And then Saturday came. And yeah, that was like horrible.
Mm.
And you know, we use this concept of young people all the time about listening to their background music. And I know to this day you would tell him, don't go there. Right. But I mean, this stuff never goes away. But for bringing it up for you is the way you handled it. Was just, you know, I mean, you handled it like a man, and it was not easy. But getting the call, and we couldn't believe that he had been. And you know the details. I don't know if they ever caught you more than anything, but the fact that it happened, you know, and it's one of those things, I told you not to go over there. You know, you shouldn't be over there. You know, we tell the kids all the time. But that just tore all of us up, but I tore you up. And I'm recounting this now, you'll do it. And I knew it to you until a tailspin, you couldn't coach the next day. But you talked to me. But I never forget, you said, I'm coming to Omega. I'm coming to the club on Tuesday night. And your words were, if I walk out of there and not want to kill somebody, I know this really works.
Yeah.
Like that. And you can take it from there because.
Yeah. What happened was that day, we had got these cars. I had a convertible Jag, and he had a BMW that he just had got, and I just didn't already. This was his turn to have a nice car too. You know, this is his turn to have a something nice, and I just wanted. I felt good that he had it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah,
because.
Right.
I knew what time it was out there. It was just a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, we have been training these kids all summer long. Sorry about that. We have been training these kids all summer long. And this is him playing with the phone right now. We have been training these kids all summer long, and we got half of the team in our living room. Somehow he was like, hey, I'm going to step out for a minute and go to this E40 concert. I said, F E40, man. We got kids. We got a game tomorrow. Come on, man. He went out anyway. I could have got him mistake because I was just going in on him. And he looked at me. He just looked back at me one last time.
Mm.
And it was a look, like I think about it now, it was like he felt bad. I was mad at him when he left. And he felt bad about going. Because I could have, one more word could have called him back in. But I was like, get out of here. And I was mad at him. And his last words was, man, you want me to get a pizza for everybody? I said, get out of here. You don't want no pizza. Get out of here. Go on and party. And I thought he'd come back, but he kept going. And I put the kids to sleep. It was like 1 o'clock. They would sleep. I said, damn, he's still not back. 2 o'clock hit. I was just like a mother. I was like, 2 o'clock hit, still not back.
Right.
3 o'clock hit, a phone ring. I mean, it was the coldest words. Lid, what's up? What you doing? I said, what's up? Man, Wade got shot. I'll call you back. Boom. I said, he's going to be all right. I just need to know where he at so I can get to the hospital and, go through the normal little routine. He called back. Lid, he breathing hard. Hang on, I'll call you right back. Boom. This is all within 5 minutes. Call me right back. Lid, he gone. I said it just like this. I said, oh, okay. And I said, they want to see me having emotions or something. I said, I don't know what the situation is. This call is weird. So, okay, bam. I looked, the little kids is up. And I said, hey, look, y'all got to stay right here. Let me go see about, I left the kids at the house. They 14, so, they was all right to stay. I go down there. There he is under a sheet. Crowd of people, probably like 100 people at the scene already. I go across the street. Funny, the police didn't stop me or nothing, didn't say anything to me. And the worst thing, I lifted the sheet up. He was laying down there with a little smile on his face. And the little teeth showing, and he was looking like, damn, like he told me. It was a look like, I know that look, it was just like, he was thinking something. And I looked, I picked him up. He was still warm. I mean, he wasn't bleeding, but I could see the holes in him and everything. I kissed him and I just put the shirt. I said, well, Khalid Elahi is no longer. And I just put the sheet back over. My father was standing right there with me. He didn't want me to raise it up, but I did it anyway because that's my guy. And I was like, maybe he's suffering. He could just one jerk and I could get him going. But it was just, I just had to know it was over. You know what I mean? And it was over. And I put the sheet back over his head, went back, got in the car, and I started driving towards, I didn't go back home. We lived in Pinot. I was driving out to my mother to tell my mother what had happened. Ironically, my mother called. She said, hey, what you doing? I said, I ain't doing nothing, Mama. She said, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. Khalid all right? I said, yeah, he all right. I said, okay. She said, ooh, I just had a terrible dream. She said, okay, I can go on back to sleep now. I said, all right, Mama. Hung up the phone and I got to her house about 15 minutes later and I told her, you know how hard that was?
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't even put up a picture of him in there because he was so much in my home because I don't want to dust to collect on his face. He was so much of a beautiful brother. I just keep him in my chest. I laugh. When I laugh, sometimes I'll be feeling him. I feel like him when I giggle or something happened or I'm still doing this for him. Everything I do, I think about how other brothers, I didn't never stop at his death. So his funeral came. Well, before the funeral, I was just like, wow. The next morning was the game. I went and coached the game. I went and coached the game. everybody looking at me like, because I said, ain't nowhere in the world they gonna see me crying and uncontrollable or weak. I said, no, me and these brothers, I gave my word to these brothers because your word is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and won the game. And them little kids was crushed. They wanted to play. They were so hurt. But we won the game. And that was one of the biggest things in the world for me. I watch other brothers get away from me. Everybody staring at me. I'm isolated by myself now, you know, because my brother got killed. So it was just like, oh, he next. So that was another strong where I had to hold my ground. And I had to just believe that my right was stronger than everybody's wrong.
Right.
No matter what, I'm gonna continue doing what I know I have to do. Because if I flee off right now, then what type of man is that? What type of leader is that? I'm gonna keep on going. My right is gonna be stronger than your wrong. So I just kept coaching like it was a normal day. The next day, the next day, the next day. But that old spirit popped back up in my head as soon as they killed my brother. I said, because I'm a human being, you know, and it just was like, you can't just kill one of us. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying to myself. You just can't kill one of us. I'd rather just go on down and do what I got to do because you just can't kill one of us. I said, damn, man. And all of this stuff, and we've been on the radio every week. We was baby hosts because we was out of the month. We did at least three weeks on the radio. Mm-hmm. All of the information we was giving, all the stuff we was talking. If it wasn't for that, I know for a fact I'd probably be in jail because we gave too much to the people to just be phonies. And then I was like, it'd be so selfish. I mean, to be like, you know how people is, yeah, Dr. Joe Marshall, he just hooked up with a group of hoodlums, little killers, and look at them. I just didn't want none of that to just, that's how I was thinking. I said, I know it's not going to rub off on you, but I know how people is. Yeah, he trusted the wrong ones. I said, nah, he trusted the right ones. I said, but I'm going to go on down to this family night. And I went in there and I was crushed. I was crushed. I was at my worst. And I was just at my worst. And I said, because you get days, you get enough time to think, marinate about it. I said, I'm going to crush them like grapes. I'm going to punish these boys. Whoever it is, I'm going to punish these boys. I'm going to punish them good. Because this boy he was mischievous. But what Waleed he was a special kid. He just was a special one, you know, and people always say that, but he was a special one. And I went in there and just the magic of our spirit and Alive and Free literally took me to another level where I just said, okay, I'm going to trust you, Lord. I didn't know who did it, still don't know. And I said, I'm just going to trust you, Lord. Don't let me find out. You just deal with it, God, please. And you crush them like grapes and just he was a good one. You deal with it. Let me go on and be the best I could be. Let me do more programs. Let me help more people. Let me don't be afraid to keep going out there, to be standing on the 100% front line. And and I said, one thing I'm not going to say when people say, how you doing? You ask people that brother get killed or their family member get killed, they say, oh, I'm staying out the way. No, Khalid, how you doing? Oh man, 100% in the way. The same thing I've been doing, haven't stopped. That's how I'm doing. I'm me. I'm 100% the same way. And I said, if I come out, and I didn't come out feeling like that, I came, it was just so much love that you guys gave me, so much support, just so much. It was the family that I needed. It was what I needed. It was support. And it let me know that a lot of these brothers out here haven't felt love where it would have kept them from doing things if somebody would have showed them that real love that, hey, It's okay. And it's weird because I come from, you get somebody tag you, you tag them back. We was raised, he hit you, you hit him back. But I learned now that God run this whole thing. You got to let the divine intervention happen, and you got to believe that your right is stronger than they wrong. That's why you got to not only believe in the process of forgiveness and prayer, you got to just, and then you got to think back to maybe things that you've done in your life, how other people felt. You know, you cannot do wrong and think it won't come back to you like a boomerang. It's going to come back. And the question is going to be, can you deal with it?
I remember that night clear as a bell. I'm just grateful that we were there. You know, we have this thing about being the light, always being on Tuesday night. I was grateful that you came because I knew the kind of pain you were in. And I'm grateful for everybody in the room. You know, I always say that, you know, Jack and I just opened the place up for everybody else. And a lot of people say it's like church, you know, but it was a great evening. It was a great, wonderful evening. Lady E was there. And it's, you know, and it's funny because it was our normal thing. It wasn't anything. You come there any Tuesday night, it's gonna be that kind of, you know.
Right.
It was just a normal night that, you know, ended up being your night for your reason, for somebody else's reason. And we tell all the young people, when you're going through something, don't stay away. Because see, a lot of that I'm going through stuff, so I'm not going tonight. No, that's when you should come.
That's right.
Should come.
That's right. That's right.
Lady E, you might want to talk a little about that night. But man, it was, you know, we all hugged, and that's why I'm saying, man, you just remarkable. And that's why it's the remarkable journey. It's a remarkable journey because people might have think it's all been, you know, easy, and it hasn't been.
Can I say something to you, Doc? Can I just want to play something real quick? This is another thing that keep me doing good. Not only you, Mrs. Steele, because she lit them candles for Waleed at the first retreat, and that's something that still stick with me. But let me play you something my mother sent me before this would keep me going too on staying changed, because my mother loved that she always felt we was good boys. You know, this is something that my mother played for me. Wait a minute, Doc.
You put yourself on mute. Unmuted.
You, Khalid.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay, here, listen to this.
Can't hear it. You need to turn it up and put it on speaker because we can't hear it.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
You put that on speaker. Yeah, it was a message from my mother. She sent me a message that said that she was proud of me, that she was joyed, that I hit my mark. And when you got somebody that's proud of you, man, there ain't nothing that you can't do. And I appreciate you guys for being an extension of my mother and my father and allowing me to continue to be great. I keep you in my mind all the time. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Omega's Boys Club. And that is a 100% fact. And I just more people would take heed to it. And
Well, let me
because
tell you something else that's proud of you. So, let me tell you somebody else is proud of you. And Waleed is not, his spirit is not gone, because there's a little one that came along that got his name,
while later,
except it's a her.
yeah,
Man, and let me tell you, Khalid, as hurt as all of us were with Waleed's death, the joy that little girl brings, and she ain't a little girl no more, right?
no,
Day one, I know Waleed is just looking at her and saying, my niece is, your mother couldn't be no more. My mother got mama's love, but that daughter got daughter love. And I know what that's like.
yeah,
She is amazing.
man, she ready for you guys too. She started the 10th grade tomorrow morning. She ready. Algebra 2, chemistry, all the little stuff, Spanish 2, geometry. You know, that girl is, I mean, it's starting up.
But it's almost as if she was the gift to replace, if I can use that as like,
Yeah,
yes, to replace him, and your chance to
right,
be dad that you couldn't be before,
right,
and
right,
you've done all. You've done with her what you couldn't do before, because of your mindset then, and the
right.
fact that he's named after him is just,
Yeah, right. God bless me, man. So I take it all. He's fair. He's fair.
wow,
He taketh, and he giveth.
right.
And it's fair. And don't feel sorry for me. I'm happy. And I'm I'm rolling stronger than ever. And life is exciting. It's exciting. And I guarantee you, if the will of God, I'm not gonna ever stop.
No,
I'm keep on trying to get to the TOP, whatever that is. But I'm definitely not thinking of destruction and death or none of that stuff. I'm still trying to be that bird that I wished I was. You know, I'm still trying to be that bird, and I just glad that I got good friends. I cut them all, and I got people like you that I got family now. If you're not family, then that's all you could be. If you are to be in my life, you have to be family. Your mind have to be focused on life, and you have to be something that's growing, something that grows. If you don't grow, then you're not alive. And I'm
yeah,
just
yeah. It's funny. The remarkable journey isn't over. This is just this is just where we caught it, right? This is just where,
right.
there's a lot more, and you know, I can't believe that girl is in the 10th grade. I remember when she was born, and we've seen her grow up, and Lady Estelle, she's coming, and we're gonna get to, put her into class, like, and send her off to school, just like we sent off, Ty and Tino and all the ones you brought to us. And there's so much more here that,
Yeah.
we'll get to it, TK the whole bit.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that it may all be symbolized in Walida, and her, you're being a dad, and homeschooling her, and this brilliant young mind that I mean, I talk to her, it's like talking to a grown woman, but she's not a grown woman. She's, it's just great. So I'll turn it over to Lady E to sum up this, remarkable journey, and as she always does. And, we want to give you your flowers right now, because it has been a incredible journey that is only going to be more incredible, more remarkable as we move forward. Lady E.
Dr. Marshall, thank you. Oh, I like that little thingy you put up, man. Khalid, I wish that there was something that I could say to sum it up. I'm choked because I don't say it much. and I don't talk to you that often. And I've never really had a chance to say it, but I love you and I love Waleed. And it's not past tense, because that's not where I live. And that day, I mean, I just, sitting beside him, with him sitting beside me, and just having so much fun. And then getting that phone call, it was so devastating. It was so devastating. And, sometimes devastation gets to be too much. And breathing gets to be hard. And so you still wake up, and you've got to go from the next day to the next day. But I remember when you came, and see, that still touches me. That whole week, from that Sunday to that Saturday, that was that 7-day, from the Sabbath to the Sabbath. And that still touches me. And I remember when you came to the club, and what you did and said was absolutely remarkable. One of the things that you said was that you realized something that you heard us say, which, just still chokes me up. You can't kill an enemy, because the opportunities to deal with it were there for you. And you stood in front of that room by yourself, just like you stood with Waleed. I've watched you stand for both of you. I've watched you live for both of you. I've watched you. And Walida, all that love that you have for your baby brother, you didn't get too much break time before you poured all of that to that baby girl. And I tell you, when I saw that baby girl,
I brought her there in the stroller. I brought her to the club in the stroller.
With those big eyes, those big eyes, and that just beautiful, I thought, oh my goodness, see, I was through all over again.
Right.
I mean, and there's so much we don't understand, and there's so much that doesn't make sense. But one thing that we do know is that things have a way of working in a way that we can't explain, and we're grateful.
Yes, Lord.
We're grateful. Don't understand it, Lord. Didn't like it and didn't appreciate it one bit. But we still got to trust it. You know what you're doing, even if we don't like it.
Right. That's right. Right.
No, I ain't feeling this one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't understand it.
Right.
And then we've got this baby girl and her namesake and the joy, because I don't know what the name means, but Waleed was so full of joy and love and laughter. And that's what I see when I see Walida, the love, the joy, and the laughter. And that was a gift that, again, that was given back to you. So I just want to say, I just thank God for you, for your life, for your journey, for your story,
Thank you.
for your work, that you're able to fulfill that purpose, and your commitment and determination to walk that road and fulfill that purpose and keep on flying, whether it's high or low, you just keep on flying. Because the work you do lifts up us all. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We have many, and the work and the journey continues. We get through this COVID. Llewellyn is listening, watching right now. He's like,
I love Llewellyn. I love that brother.
I know, man. Look, we're going to South Africa, man. We're going to South Africa. We just got to get this COVID thing through. We've been saying it,
I'm going with you. Yeah.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I said, we going, right? We going.
That's right.
So, the world needs the work that we do. The world needs a life free. And you know, let's just keep moving. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Thank you for being you, brother. Love you, man.
Love you too.
Thank you for sharing your story, the remarkable journey of a remarkable man.
And an amazing street soldier.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, brother.
Yes.
Thank you, man. All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.